Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, Lark from Texas and I look at communitarianism here on the Republic Broadcasting Network, where truth lives. Okay, you can call into the show live and ask a question and get involved at 800-313-9443, or you can listen at 605-313-0163. And we welcome Lark. Go ahead, Lark.
Well, good evening. How are you?
Very good, sir. I've been looking forward to this, and I have not had sufficient time to breeze through your website, but I have gone over a number of things, and it's very interesting and great writing.
Well, thank you. The information I try to bring to light has been around for some time. I started listening to RBN about 2009, and on or about that year or the following year, I began calling in as just a commenter, and I became a frequent caller, and then I became a host in 2011, and so I was host for about 14 months. And did some other things related to media in the subsequent years, but I quit really doing any writing about 2013 for public consumption because somehow I got it in my mind people just don't read anymore, and the truth is that we're so inundated with media that I wanted to fashion a way to break through with what I regarded as really critical information for everyone alive today in terms of how it is we navigate this new political, economic, social, and cultural milieu in which we all find ourselves. In other words, how do we navigate a course through the future, particularly if we're not sure we understand the terrain?
It's my opinion that we must, as older adults with experience and life experience, we must take a hard look at the past, and we must take a hard look at the mistakes that have been made and the mistakes that are being made now. Specifically trampling our Constitution and hanging on to this Patriot Act that finally President Trump has vetoed. But let's hope he has vetoed it for the right reasons. And there is one amendment on there that he may not have wanted on there, and he could subsequently run it through again. That's my understanding, or they could. But that's not what we're here to speak of. Lark, why don't you take the floor and explain a little bit to us about communitarian law and what it is, and as such.
Well, I'd be delighted. I have to tell you that I'm not the brightest bulb. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I'm just a regular guy. I'm 65 years old. I just retired last year, and I'll soon be 66. The truth of the matter is that there's a lot of very committed, bright researchers that have expanded brilliantly about the Constitution over the years. But I don't focus on the Constitution. And the reason is because of my rereading and my new understanding of history, When we talk about the Constitution, we have to ask ourselves, which version are we referring? And so the important thing to understand about communitarianism and communitarian law is that what's happening in America, for instance, what's happening across the world, is a superimposition and an overlay of so-called EU or European Union law over and upon all laws of the nation states, all nationalist laws, including what we term constitutional law. And this has been happening by degrees over time in America. If we look to the original version, there are people who hold to an originalist version of the Constitution, and others consider that it is a living document. It's something that's alive and it's subject to change. Whereas originalists want to go to the original language and then look at the biographies of the people who actually penned these words and the like. So I don't focus on that, and the reason is because I want people to keep their eyes and ears open and be focused on the here and now.
Okay,
because
Lark.
the reality is that the Constitution has been harmonized and or balanced with this communitarian law.
Okay, we have a caller, Kat, from Spokane, I assume, Washington. Go ahead, Kat.
Hello.
Hi, Kat.
Go ahead.
Hello. Hi. Yeah, we're talking about the amendment. Is it not the Fourth Amendment that says we have the right to freedom and life? I believe it's the Fourth Amendment, isn't it?
Would you like me to address that, Frank?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
When I say that European law or communitarian law, in the French that's known as acquis communautaire. In English, it's communitarian law. It's the law of the International Court of Justice at The Hague, for instance. We're talking international law here. And when I say that it seeks to harmonize and or balance what we refer to as the laws of the nation states, including our own Constitution. Remember, communitarians do not believe that anybody has rights which are unaccompanied by duties and responsibilities. Therefore, what you'll find is that jurists and legal practitioners today in America and for some time really seek to do away with this Bill of Rights. And this is a reality. It's not something I'm happy with, but that's the reality. And we have to confront it head on. For more information, what I would recommend is do a search on the internet and just simply type in the words, what is communitarian law? Right. If you want to go to RBN or just type into any search engine, type in communitarianism, first things first.
Okay.
And
well, I called in. I'm a first-time caller. And I have been a victim for over 20 years now. I've been put in a wheelchair about 8 years ago. I had to learn to walk again. There's my back and arms are cut up. I have records of that, proof. My mother was given a stroke. She was attacked in her home. I was there. I felt it. And she worked in a state hospital as a child psychologist, special education teacher. She had gotten an award from the state 5 years in a row. I had a friend in the CIA that was a childhood friend who passed away last year. I'm wondering if they killed him too. His body was burned with ashes. He cannot be dug up and checked at the morgue. They killed my second husband. He had a stroke. They went so hard I couldn't even get up and get in the shower. He was burned. My mother can be dug up and be checked in an electronic morgue. I talked to my CIA friend about if there was a number on me, and he said, surely not, because of your family. You were raised by your grandfather, who was a judge, prominent family. Now, I'm not sure he said surely not, but I don't know if he checked to see if there was a number on me or not, and I really don't understand that. I don't know how that works. I live in a house with my girlfriend, who is a caregiver, and she has been tortured for off and on herself in this house, as she feels it. They bound me so hard. I have damage. They found I had blood in my feces. They found a hernia in my bowels that may have to be cut out. Bleeding in my feces, of bright red blood in my feces. There's records on that. I'm having to go. My legs are starting to go again, so my doctor has got to. I'll be staying in a nursing home. It's going to give me physical therapy for a couple of weeks.
Okay, Kat, do you have a specific question for Lark?
I'm trying to understand what he does. I'm trying to understand. That's why I asked about the amendment. I'm not sure what he does.
He's
I just know that I need help,
communitarianism and how it relates to our Constitution. We have to, every once in a while, stray away from the targeted community and pick up human rights, which are related.
We have rights, exactly.
Yes, to the
our only hope.
Constitution. And communitarianism
that is our only hope.
Is a different way of looking at things, and that's what we're examining. And Lark has mentioned that this is what is being picked up by, like, the European Union and such. But it's worth a very good listen. Next, we have
what I don't
Richard
understand is
from
what
North
is Trump doing right now? I heard you guys speak of Trump, the president. You said he is doing something. You hope that he was honest about it. What has he done? I missed that.
He is actually vetoing the Patriot Act, which is very damaging to this country.
Mm-hmm. He's vetoing it.
Vetoing it, yes.
Kat, let me weigh in and say this. The global to local, and that includes where you live, and worldwide, at once and at the same time. The overarching communitarian agenda for global governance is really twofold. The first is depopulation, and the second is techno-slavery, which is to say that this depopulation agenda assumes many forms. It has everything to do with your ability to breathe clean air, drink potable water, drink food that's not been poisoned. It has everything to do with what's happened in the healthcare system today. The healthcare system today has been rotted from the inside, and really since the beginning of the 20th century. There is a depopulation agenda afoot, and we have to recognize this fact. It really is a standalone euphemism for total war, but it's not the kind of war that we think of ordinarily when we think of war. Because here, in your particular circumstance, we're talking about chemical and biological warfare too. Many people today,
like the virus,
and like healthcare, the type of healthcare that you receive in the hospital system in this country. You know, it is not necessarily for your benefit. And this is a minefield that we're in. Now, I can tell you one of the reasons I got active personally is because my mother and my father were both murdered by their doctors. And the same thing happened to my younger brother and sister. And
I believe it.
You know, I woke up in 2011 and found and discovered that I was alone. My nuclear family was gone. My sister at age 45. My brother at age 55, and my parents before them at young ages, 62 and 66.
Right. Well, you know what a nurse told me? A nurse told me in one of the biggest hospitals we have here. She's a friend. She says, we had a meeting today, the doctors and nurses, and they came in and said they were told that if they're old, they have no money, or even if they're young and they have no insurance, help them to die. They were told to help them to die.
Well, let's not forget this so-called Obamacare bill. Its real title was Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. Now, I know the subject of communitarian law, is rather much like an elephant in the room. Nobody sees the elephant. When you look at the fable of the blind man and the elephant, you know, one blind man touches the side of the elephant and feels like he's come up against a wall. Another touches the elephant's trunk and decides he's stumbled upon a tree. Another one touches his tail and decides that he's stumbled upon a rope. Another one touches his tusks and imagine he's come upon a spear. You know, at the same time, the question, how do you swallow an elephant? Or how best to swallow an elephant? And the answer is one bite at a time. And this is why I say that once you're confronted with the reality that communitarian governance is really about depopulation, which stands for total war, and it stands for techno-slavery, then you have the foundation for confronting the reality that we find ourselves in today. And I could expand upon that naturally, but I'm going to tell you from my own experience, you need to become your own expert, and you need to question everything, and that includes any decisions made for your or your loved one's health care.
Healthcare, right?
So I'll leave it at that for now so we can cover more ground, but I appreciate you calling in.
Yes, thank you very much, Kat, and we hope that you become a regular.
Become what?
A regular.
Yeah, well, I have your number now.
Thank you so much.
I need a show where I can find out how to get help, because this is the first time call, and I have hesitated because of my situation. I've lost loved ones, so I'm very, very cautious.
Okay. If you go to targetedmassachusetts.org or targetedjustice.com, you will find help in both places.
Targetedjustice.org?
Targetedjustice.com and targetedmassachusetts.org.
Targetedmassachusetts.org. Got it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kat. Next, we have Richard from North Carolina. Richard, you with us?
I'm here. Sorry, I was on mute there a minute, but anyway,
we have commercial. Anyway.
We got rid of the red coats years ago.
Okay, Richard, we have to go to commercial. I'm terribly sorry.
As a listener of RBN, you're surely concerned about being informed and being ready for whatever may come. Please consider the following questionnaire as a soul-jarring wake-up call. If you answer no to more than 2 of these following questions, you probably aren't going to make it through any major disruption in our country. The questions were compiled by people that have been there. Are you really ready? Do you own your own firearm for the primary defense and protection of you and your loved ones? Have you ever been professionally trained to stand against life-threatening behavior? Have you ever practiced enough to fire 500 rounds during a 2 to 4 day time frame, day and night? Can you load, unload, fire, and clear a jam in total darkness? Have all the adults in your household been professionally trained? Are you, life and death, comfortable with your abilities with pistol, revolver, shotgun, and rifle? Are you aware that everything that you do to prepare for an emergency is a waste of time, money, and energy? if you haven't honed your abilities to their highest level to protect and keep what you have? Do you have the repair parts that will most likely be needed for each of your firearm, and do you have the ability to install those parts? Could you completely clean every firearm you own? Are you aware that your body won't go where your mind hasn't been? In other words, without proper training, followed by regular practice, you probably will not win a gunfight. Well, how did you measure up? Take the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to start correcting your deficiencies by receiving your Commander Lifetime Membership with Front Sight Firearms Training Facility. A one-time donation to RBN for $500 will give you a Commander Lifetime Membership at Front Sight as a tremendously huge thank you bonus. See details on RBN's webpage to make it happen. The clock is ticking. You had better be ready before it happens. This is too good to be true, except this time it is real. 100%. No joke. How about a $25,000 membership to Front Sight Firearms Training Facility as a thank you bonus for a one-time donation to RBN of only $500? It is a Commander Lifetime Membership with no yearly fees or dues. The training is free for the rest of your life with over 50 different classes. Then leave it to your designated beneficiary. You provide the approved firearm, holster, ammo, eye, and ear protection. Many features and bonuses are included, more than you would ever expect or believe. This is the ultimate graduation present, wedding gift, etc., etc. See the details. Go to RBN's webpage and frontsight.com to make it happen. You will hear this offer only on this radio network. Help keep RBN alive. Tell 5.
Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, we are very fortunate to have Lark from Texas on our show, and we are looking at communitarianism here on the Republic Broadcasting Network, and the truth lives here. And Richard was terribly interrupted by our commercial. I'm sorry. And go right ahead, Richard.
Well, thank you, Frank. Guess we messed up the timing on that one for sure, but we'll take a minute to say that there's many things going on in this country. You can't believe everything you hear. Lady was talking about surveillance was all that was going on. Well, and looking for the answers to a way to stop it is confusing, because you're not going to find a perfect trail, a perfect written out statement, whatever it may be, to apply to what is happening to you. Surveillance could include them taking your grandchildren's DNA and applying it to a biological robot. That's a little bit more than surveillance. And the Constitution itself is being defended and used daily. Cases are being won on a regular basis. That must mean it still exists. So we're not completely into a communitarian sort of thing. And, well, the redcoats, we got them out of here years and years ago. If we need to do it again, we can. But don't let go of that Constitution. Don't let go of your rights. God-given rights, inalienable rights, whatever they may be. Don't give them up. And when it comes time, make sure that you're ready. If you're going to come to my place and turn my place into a communitarian sort of situation, you better, lace up your boots, get your gunpowder, and don't forget to bring your balls.
Very good. Do you have any questions for Richard? I mean, for Lark?
Well, the only question I can think of that I would like to ask is, just because some paperwork says that, the Constitution is completely gone, how would you feel if you had a couple of 100 million Americans standing in front of your face saying, we love the Constitution, our country, and our flag? Because at the end of the road, well, maybe we do need to know how you would feel about that.
Right.
Richard, let me say this, Richard. Number one, I oppose communitarianism. But I'm going to tell you the truth. U.S. Conference of Mayors, National Governors Association, they're all communitarian. All your politicians, whether they even know the word or not, they have been swept up. We really do not have representative governance any longer. It's a fact, and we have to call out these elected and selected and appointed officials on that fact. If we don't let them know that we're onto their game and their con, they're going to continue. Okay? I'm just telling you the facts. Now, you can deny this reality or not, but several years ago, Newsweek magazine featured an infamous cover with the headline, "We are all socialists now." And on that cover was depicted a red hand shaking hands with a blue hand. Red state, blue state. They're working the same agenda. It doesn't matter what side of the political fence they stand on. I'm trying to lay out the facts so that we can better navigate this reality, whether we want to admit to it or not. Now, the truth is, most people today are communitarians and don't even know it. And that would include elected officials and politicians. That would include judges, attorneys, doctors, nurses, people in the media, with people within every field of human endeavor. Because, see, this is a term of art that was attached to by people in academia, then into think tanks, foundations, etc. Okay? There's a lot to learn about this subject. And if you don't know about your enemy, what did Sun Tzu say? And yet you claim to know yourself, you're only going to win half your battles. And so I'm telling you and the listeners that unless you are familiar with this word and this law, then you are not up to speed.
It's the bottom of the hour, and we have to go to station identification. Thank you very much for listening, folks.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we have been building our online store. Well, we have been focusing on bringing you the best talk show host in the country. Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we also want our listeners to have products they can use every day and in times of emergency. We have added new products each week to our store. Your support of this network, plus products at the best prices, is a win-win situation. Check out our new store. Go to our website, republicbroadcasting.org, and click on the online store located at the top of our website. Together, we can continue to grow RBN and help our listeners prepare for the future. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and click on our online store or call us.
800-724-2719, extension 3. 800-724-2719, extension 3. Extend your life with Extendovite.
Extendovite really works. Here are some reviews from Amazon.com. John Hess, 5 out of 5 stars. Awesome. Probably my only review, but at age 40, I was getting bad heartthrob and left arm pain, mainly before bed. I even stopped smoking and drinking sodas for a month, and that didn't work. After one day of taking Extendovite, it was gone and hasn't returned in 3 years. I've ordered Extendovite 13 times, so Amazon just said. Juliet Hordick. I've ordered this product before in liquid form. It is fantastic. My whole family's been on it. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
What would you say if I told you we have a new tool that will increase production and lower maintenance costs for your meat processing company? And it would pay for itself in just 6 weeks.
When pigs fly!
The new Ease Off Model Easy 4 replaces old spring-style carcass droppers and is faster, safer, and more reliable. The Ease Off lowers or lifts 1,000 pounds to or from your rail automatically using our remote control.
Sounds expensive. Can I afford it?
Can you afford not to try the Ease Off? It installs fast with just 3 bolts in place of your current dropper. The effortless operation will reduce fatigue and injuries, speed up your line, eliminate downtime, and increase profit.
How can I order my Ease Off?
Go to easeoff.com, EAZEOFF.com, and hurry, because we are offering $200 off on the new Easy 4 for a limited time. Easeoff.com. We make pigs fly. Cows, too. Ease Off LLC, Summersville, Missouri, 417-932-6419.
Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts, folks, and welcome back. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, Lark and I look at communitarianism here on the Republic Broadcasting Network. This is where truth lives. Truth lives here. You can call into the show live and ask a question and get involved at 800-313-9443 or listen at 605-313-0163. And I would just like to say that people have blinders on today. They go to work. They spend their 8 hours or their 12 or 14 hours. They drive back home, watch TV, go to sleep, get up very early and fight the traffic into work. Do the same thing for 5 or 6 days a week. And they have Sunday off, maybe. But they are not watching what their government is doing. Everyone needs to take some time off. I know no one can afford it. They make it that way. They create a system where no one can take time off. But there should be a few million people in Washington complaining every day the way this country is. Okay, Lark, we'll give this back to you. Then we have Andy from Texas. Go ahead, Lark.
Just say, for the listeners, I quit writing in 2013, but I have remained in contact with a few people. And so I send out occasional emails because, of course, I want to share my research. Others share their research with me. A lot of people are concerned about what's happening in the country. And it's like those blind men and the elephant. They can't quite figure it out, because we are all compartmentalized in terms of our access to information, as well as the information that takes hold in the old noggin. And I'm not any smarter than you. I'm not any better than you. I'm just a person who has taken 16 years of my life to research this one topic because I thought it important. I've been speaking out, not as effectively as I could be, but for whatever it's worth. Lark in Texas, type it into any search engine. You can go to my old blog. You'll find it. If you type in a Lark in Texas .wix site, that's WIXSITE.com /website. Again, a Lark in Texas .wix site, WIXSITE.com /website. You'll see my new writings where I try to simplify the years of research I've done on this topic so that it becomes more digestible for you. I really am trying to help. Okay? And I'm going to tell you that we all have a right to believe what we want to believe. I would prefer that the man who lives in Texas, in the country, who's known far and wide as a professional horseshoer. This is a man that takes pride in his work. He horses a shoe as well as it can be done. And his neighbors far and wide know of this man. He knows nothing of communitarianism. He knows nothing of communitarian law. Hell, this man may not even know who the governor of Texas is. He raises a few chickens and he has a garden. He raised his family in this home, however mean or humble. Now, I admire this man. As well, we all should admire this man. But the reality is that we consume more media today than in any other time in human history. And we are besieged by people's opinions.
Okay, Lark.
We need to be concerned about our place in the world and how it is that we're going to navigate this life so that we can have all of these freedoms and these liberties and these rights that we suggest that we have. And this is what it's all about. And that's why I speak out, and that's why you have it within you to get knowledged up so that you can confront the reality as it is and be guided accordingly.
Thank you, Lark. Very well spoken. We have a guest from Wisconsin. Her name is Myrrh. Go ahead, Myrrh. Okay, we can do that. Andy from Texas.
No. I've heard Lark for quite a while, and I understand what he's saying. It took me a minute to catch on what he's saying because communitarianism engulfs a lot of society. And but the one thing I want people to understand is when we were first born on this planet, we had no choice. I mean, whatever our parents taught us or however we were raised, that's how we had to live. We never got an opportunity to be free will individuals and make our own decisions. I mean, we weren't. There's some people that have, and I would say that the Amish are probably one of them, and the other people who live in such a manner and stuff. But as far as communitarian goes, we've all been a part of that, and this has been around forever. And it's been a plot forever, and like we're saying, this has been engulfed. I'm guessing it's back to the Soviets or to the Nazis or whatnot. they had their own way of putting together these communities. And then you look at all these places. I used to put fences and decks in all around the place and in these new housing developments, and they called them communities. You got to go up here and put a fence in this community. And in the communities, they have these head households and stuff that they can tell you what you can and can't do in your little household and stuff. So they've been giving power. Power's been sent down to all these different people to the point where they actually have security guards running through the neighborhoods and stuff. And later, our government put together the code enforcement, but these security guards that ran through these neighborhoods were stopping and leaving tickets on your doors because your fence wasn't stained or you didn't do this or whatever according to what the housing development said you had to do. But now we have code enforcement in which these people brought out, okay, we have codes now. Okay, we got the police, we got code enforcement, we got the sheriffs, we got all these different people telling us what we can and can't do. And I've been running around in my life, and after I had all my run-ins with all these police officers, which resulted in I've never hurt anybody, never damaged anybody's property, but I've been in and out of jail for various reasons. But I can't possibly come to any conclusion other than the fact that people are making us live the way they want us to live, and they're using these pawns, such as the police, security guards, and everybody else, to make sure that we do live the way they want us to. And that I believe that is communitarianism, where they're instigating everything and anything that you're supposed to be doing, or shaming you for not doing the correct thing with your children, with yourself, or whatnot. I believe the Constitution is null and void. However, I do believe that for the 10 amendments, they can't null and void that, because I really feel like that's my job. If I want to null and void that, that's up to me. I say whether or not you can take my right to free speech. I say whether you can search my car. All of these things, it's up to me. And it's up to me what else I want to give up for that. I mean, and I know in today's communitarian setup, these cops will do whatever they have to get you to comply, as we've seen up there in Minneapolis. Whatever it takes to get you to comply, and I'm not afraid of that. You can count me down as the same guy in Minneapolis. I'm not going down easy. And I won't let that happen to anybody that I know. If I'm in front of somebody and I know, everybody will be like, well, that's easy to say. No, that I know who I am. And I won't let something like that happen to my fellow neighbor, whether he be black, white, or somebody I have no clue who it is. I will not let somebody do that. I love all life. And I think everybody should love all life, and I think we should all band together. I mean, the question is what are we really going to do about this? All of this. Everything that they're doing, this from what they're trying to put in with contact tracing, from what they're doing with this targeted stuff, from all the stuff that they're doing, that food, air, and water is being destroyed. They're poisoning us, and you got Bill Gates up there laughing and giggling like it's some sort of big-ass joke. And we're just sitting here doing nothing. And you know, I'm kind of proud of the fact that people have stood up for this gentleman, this Floyd guy that got killed. I'm glad to see him doing that. I'm disappointed that they're beating up on mom-and-pop stores. But when you look at the fact that they're going after Targets and AutoZones and stuff, these people are Bilderberg people. And these people were designated as essential services during this COVID-19. And you know this was part of their plan in those Bilderberg meetings and stuff, because this was a pandemic. This was not something that just came up. And so we all have to be aware of this, to the point of the matter of the communitarianism is they're just not going to let it go. We're in control of you. And look at how many different people are in charge of us. You live in a housing development, you got somebody in charge of you. You go outside, you got the cops in charge of you. You go around, you go to courtrooms, you got cops in charge of you. You got people are in charge of you. It's like we're living in an open realm prison right now, and we're on work release. Currently, right now, that's very variant, because we really are on current work release because they locked us down. You can only go to work if you're a desired essential, and you have to go to work. So they let you go to work. But this is like we're in jail. So we're on work release right now, but if you actually go to jail, then that to me would be like solitary confinement. Then if you actually get solitary confinement in jail, then that's just torture. So we're living in a prison right now, and communitarianism, and Lark is, man, I'm so glad he brings this up. He's made a point, and it's been talked about on many other radio stations now, and Lark, I think you sparked it.
Well, thank you, Andy.
Yes,
I want to say that integral to understanding the foundation for communitarian law is this thing called R2P, or responsibility to protect. Look it up. It was advanced in the United Nations by Samantha Power, who was President Obama's appointee as a U.S. representative to the United Nations. She's married to Cass Sunstein. These are both attorneys. Cass Sunstein was involved in a conference that you can look up on YouTube. It's called The Constitution in 2020. And look up responsibility to protect. I know we have limited time. Again, I'm trying to drop the breadcrumbs to get people to see what is the enemy so that they can articulate who and or what is the enemy. Bear in mind, as I stated previously, most Americans are communitarians, and they do not know that this label has been ascribed to them or attached to them. That's why it is imperative that you learn what is a communitarian.
Okay,
and so
we have Dan from Texas up. We don't have much time, and I'd like to hear from everybody if possible. Dan?
I'd like to make... I'm sorry. Hello?
Go ahead, Dan.
Frank, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Frank, with your permission, there's so little time left. I would enjoy hearing Lark comment on the events that are occurring today surrounding this COVID-19 lockdown and how the principles of communitarianism apply. And I'll listen online. Thank you.
Okay, and I'd just like to let Murr from Wisconsin speak and just ask a question, whatever she will, and then Lark can proceed right to the end.
Oh, good. That's excellent. Yeah, a basis. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're coming through loud and clear, 5 by 5.
Okay, the basis for communitarianism that I learned from Lark was that it's a Hegelian dialectic, or thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. The thesis is capitalism. That's nationalized usury, plus communism is the antithesis, and it equals the synthesis of communitarianism, which means individuals have no rights, really. And a proponent of this is Amitai Etzioni, and he has a new golden rule. See, this is a spiritual battle, ultimately. And he says the common adage, in other words, he doesn't want to mention that Jesus Christ said it, to do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. But now they're trying to transpose that into being the community, or as Lark said, the R2P, responsibility to protect. No, you have self-responsibility. And it's the same thing with this going on right now. Contagion doesn't exist. Traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda, all the old modalities before Roggenfeld or allopathy, showed that. We have immunity, individual immunity and acquired immunity. We have no herd immunity. That's an insult. Okay? So there is no contagion. There's immunity and there is poisoning. And this is not airborne. So all of this mask wearing and all these other rituals are to confound us. And I'd like to hear what Lark has to say about how it coincides with communitarianism, too. Thank you. Oh, Lark, one more thing. I thought, because you were going to be on here, that you might have something to say about those 2 times you were hit with seizures. I thought maybe that had something to do with targeting. I know you don't really think so, but I can't help but wonder. Anyway, thank you. I'll get off. Bye-bye.
We have a commercial coming up in about 3 seconds, and then you can have the floor.
Hey, honey, I'm home. I grabbed the newspaper on the way home. Look at all the news today.
The newspaper? Don't you know that all you're going to get in the newspaper is propaganda, twisted news, and false information?
Honey, this is a national newspaper. It has to be true.
Ha! For some reason, a majority of the population believe anything the mainstream media tells them. The newspaper does not give out the important attention on what's happening to this country and news that affects our daily lives. Say, does that newspaper mention anything about the North American Union?
No, not that I can see.
I didn't think so. You need to go to www.newswithviews.com, where truth is more important than political correctness. That's www.newswithviews.com. Hey, don't throw that away. We can use that in the birdcage.
Okay, move over. Let me start reading newswithviews.com.
The truth? Read all about it at newswithviews.com. Newswithviews.com, where reality shatters illusion.
Homeowners, are you in foreclosure, expecting to be served with a foreclosure lawsuit, or suspect your lender has coerced you into an illegal mortgage transaction? A huge number of mortgages made in the last 10 years have legal issues and are possibly defective. State laws and the U.S. Supreme Court have upheld that defective mortgage documents are grounds for foreclosure defense and for counterclaims in favor of the homeowner. If your mortgage has been sold or assigned since closing the loan, it may be defective and you may be paying the wrong party, and the lender may not have standing or the right to foreclose or collect payments under the law. If you would like to know if your mortgage is legal or not, or know if you are paying the right party, we can help. Our initial consultations are free of charge. We are not attorneys. We are legal researchers and work closely with experienced lawyers who know how to help you find the evidence to help you keep your home. Call toll-free 1-855-2-KEEP-IT. That's 1-855-2-KEEP-IT today.
Did you know that you can be tracked and traced when you're online? With identity theft and cybercrimes on the rise, your passwords, your identity, and even your physical location can be revealed to complete strangers. Would you like to surf the internet anonymously and not have to worry about these threats? Well, now you can by visiting patriotinternet.com. For about $2 per month, patriotinternet.com will conceal your IP address and your physical location, allowing you to browse the web, send emails, and instant message anonymously. patriotinternet.com will bypass filters, block sites, and keyword blocking. You can also bypass logging by your router and your ISP. With patriotinternet.com, there is no software to install and uses 128-bit encryption for your protection. When using wireless hotspots, patriotinternet.com shields your information from identity thieves and is compatible with Windows, Mac, and Linux. Protect your identity and your freedom with anonymous internet access from patriotinternet.com. Visit patriotinternet.com today.
Good evening once again, Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. I'm going to cut right to the quick here. You can call into the show live tomorrow night and ask a question and get involved at 800-313-9443 or listen at 605-313-0163. And I'd like to thank Mike, my producer, who makes all this possible in the background. And I'd like to have Lark finish out the broadcast. Almost. Go ahead, Lark.
Addressing your first caller's question, my response is your instincts are right on. This entire thing was planned. It's a psychological operation, what we euphemistically know as a psyop. That's what it is. It's designed for the purpose of social engineering. Regarding Mer's questions, her comments, I would invite the listeners to just type into the search engine these words: educating for pagan change. Earth Day and the first national teach-in. Educating for Pagan Change, Earth Day, and the first national teach-in. Now, I want you to know that my mother was born on Earth Day, April 22nd, 1934. Remember, I mentioned that she was murdered by her doctors in 1996. 1970 was the 100th year anniversary of Vladimir Lenin's birthday, what we know today as Earth Day. Earth Day, the 150th anniversary, according to the World Economic Forum and their technology conference, was held in San Francisco to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lenin's birthday. My websites, if you want to learn more about this topic and realize it's important, I promise you it is important, and you just simply need to get knowledged up. Just type into your search engine, Lark in Texas. .wixsite, wixsite.com/website. My email is alarkintexas@gmail.com. Send me something and just write the word subscribe or subscribe to the new website and stay abreast. Type into your search engines the definitive anti-communitarian manifesto.
Okay, Lark.
Go to a website called New People.
We have to, we're at the top of the hour.
Very good, thank you.
You will be back here, believe me, and I'd like to say good night from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. God bless you all. Thank you, Lark. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Frank.
It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. We here at RBN are working with Front Sight Firearms Training Institute to bring our audience the best in combat, tactical, and defensive firearms training. Whether you're a private citizen who is new to firearms or you have a concealed weapon permit and want a level of training that surpasses what you've received from your local gun range, Front Sight provides priceless education and skills taught by seasoned law enforcement, military, and private citizen instructors to levels that far exceed law enforcement and military standard. With nearly 1 million responsible citizens trained from every town, city, and state from across the United States, Front Sight has bolstered the Patriot movement to a whole new level. Contact Dan Sutterfield by phone at 573-762-2356 or 573-465-2356 or shoot him an email at domedan, DOMEDAN, at hotmail.com. This is a limited time opportunity. Don't miss it.
You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Because you can handle the truth.